be beginning very soon. Do not attempt to interact with the defendant in any manner. Anyone who tries to cross over this barrier will be swiftly dealt with. And if you try to be violent, you will be executed. All right.
If there's any issues with the stream, let me know in chat, please.
All right. Let's get to it.
Will the witnesses be speaking in stage?
Yes. All right. Now we're in order, so don't just ask random questions. Just DM me if you have a question. All right. Jeff Yome, you stand accused of 2 crimes. One is a civil crime and one is a criminal crime. First, you're accused of destruction of property. You're accused. You're also accused of obstruction of justice, which is a criminal offense. If you're found guilty, it will result in jail time. Now, we'll hear from the prosecutor. He may begin his opening statement.
Okay, am I able to step up here?
Yes.
Definitely.
Speaking VC.
So, on Saturday, April 27th, during a warm evening, Kaiju the merchant entrusted Jeff Yome with an important task. Jeff Yome was requested to transport Mr. Kaiju and his cart to the Blue Lotus compound. In reward, he promised 1 lumen for his hard work. Now, it was already out of character for Mr. Kaiju to assign someone of Jeff Yome's caliber to his task, as he never had any past issues with any other former workers. But in order to adapt with Yome's physical misfortunes, he increased the payment from 1 to 2 lumen out of generosity. Once again this trip, he was very careless and reckless with Mr. Kaiju's cart, bumping into walls, running over potholes, and even swerving, Your Honor, which was something that Mr. Kaiju explicitly told Jeff Yome not to do before the task even began. When they made it to the gate, the cart broke due to Yome's carelessness. Yome then proceeded to harass Mr. Kaiju by being in the way while the car was being cleaned, despite Mr. Yome already having assistance from someone else. The reason why we're here now is because after this incident, Yome placed on a cloak wrongfully to hide his identity so that he could run away from the truth. You see, this place is a home. It's supposed to be a place of harmony and peace. We live here because it's a home that allows for us to get away from the havoc that happens outside. Somewhere that we're supposed to be and feel comfortable. So with that being said, the truth that was being ran away is that Jeff Yome is without a doubt guilty to destruction of property and obstruction of justice towards Mr. Kaiju. That's all I have to say for now.
Very well, prosecutor. The defendant's attorney may now make his opening statement.
All right. For the people of the public and all visitors, I'd like to make note of the fact that Jeff Yome he's a young guy. He's a hardworking man. He's come here for one purpose. He's come here to grow. So when he's just like everyone else here, he just wants to make some money, move forward with his life. But Jeff Yome, talking to the businessman over there, he was offered to pull a cart for 1 lumen. 1 lumen is a very fair amount, I'd say. But one statement that the prosecutor failed to mention was that Jeff Yome was tested for his strength, and he was only given one directive, which was not to run with the cart. I would say that a cart that weighs so much should be able to be pulled with such force. And then later on, when they were partially down the path, the businessman jumped onto the cart and then doubled the payment, further increasing the load, which was not part of the original deal, causing the cart to break. I also have evidence, which I will be showing later, of the cart's faults and damages that were previously incurred before my client had even interacted with the cart. That'd be all, Your Honor.
Very well. All right. Prosecutor D'Anthony, you may now call forth a witness.
Okay, I would like to call Mr. Kaiju to the stand.
Very well. Mr. Kaiju, if you will, please stand near the prosecutor.
Awesome.
You may now begin your examination.
All right, cool. So, Mr. Kaiju, can you please explain the story from your perspective, please?
Yes. Okay, so I was in the marketplace inside the city of Yonkin, and this individual, Jeff Yome, approached me saying he was looking for a job to do to earn some lumen. So as a wealthy merchant as myself, I decided to agree, and I would give him a job to carry some supplies to the Blue Lotus compound.
Most definitely. Thank you for that. Now, in this, they did say that you decided to increase the lumen amount. So can you tell us, why did you increase the lumen amount exactly?
So I told Jeff Yome to go to the compound, and as he was carrying the cart, he was moving at a very slow rate. I thought he wasn't just putting enough effort in. I thought he didn't respect my time. So I thought if I increase the amount, maybe it'd motivate him to, work faster or do something,
Right. And you did not tell him at any point to speed up with the cart, correct?
No, I did not tell him at any point to speed up. I said,
I'd like to make an objection. So, Mr. Prosecutor, in your opening statement, you definitely stated that he upped the price to 2 lumens to hurry up the pace. And then on top of that, Mr. What was your name again?
Kaiju.
Mr. Kaiju. So, Mr. Kaiju, you were stating that he wasn't respecting your time and you had places to be, but then you said he was going too fast. So, this is overlap.
Defendant, I will ask. Did you listen to what I was saying at all, or were you let me ask that.
Mr. Taka, this is a cross-examination question. This is not an objectable. This is not something you can object to. So overruled.
I would like to apologize for my outburst.
Now, before I continue with you, Mr. Kaiju, I do want to say that while Mr. Defendant over there did try to argue a point, he was loud and wrong. Just so I can let everybody know that. Because when speaking in the beginning, I said that he increased 2 lumen out of generosity, not for anything else beyond that. So I'll continue with my question now, if you don't mind. So, Mr. Kaiju, as I was saying, did you at any point tell Mr. Yome to speed up with the cart?
I did not at any point tell him to speed up with the cart. I specifically said at the start, take your time because the cart could break.
Exactly. Okay. Now, we also was told that you tested Jeff Yome's strength. Did he seem physically ready at all?
Yes, I pushed him to his limits and he didn't move, he didn't budge. We actually had a test run and made him carry the cart for the first time. And at first he couldn't carry the cart, but the second time he managed to, so I gave him the job.
Right, most definitely. So he was physically ready, but when he did start, he was recklessly, carrying the cart despite you telling him not to, right?
Correct.
Most definitely. Okay, now my last question is: when Jeff Yome approached you, how did he present his intentions? Did he seem sincere, possibly desperate? How did that come across?
It was a mix of both, I'd say. I was currently doing a task. I was cleaning my swords. Then he came up to me, stopped me from doing my task, told me he needed a job, and out of the goodness of my heart, I gave him the job.
Most definitely. I got you. Thank you for your time, Mr. Kaiju.
Thank you.
You may now begin your witness. I'm back here.
Yo, Mr. Kaiju.
Witness Mr. Kaiju, please stand to the. Thank you.
You can't just leave. We have to do a cross-examination. You may now cross-examine the witness.
All right, Mr. Kaiju. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your time, everyone's time for being here. Okay, and then moving forward. So you stated that you did multiple tests, stating that you would test his strength and push him to his limits. Is this correct?
Correct.
And based on your, what expertise would you say you have in determining these factors?
I make. How do I put this? I've developed a talent to test one's strength.
I don't think, I would like to interject here. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't think saying a talent is very comparable numerical wise, I would say. So, if we could get something more similar to that.
What do you mean?
So, maybe if there was a weight limit threshold you had him practice with or something, but,
Oh yeah,
to mention maybe.
I tested if he could even carry it first before I gave him the job.
And you would say he did a pretty good job of that?
At first he was struggling, but the second time he got it. Okay,
that's fine. Moving forward, let's talk about the cart. You said the cart would break if he moved too fast. Would you say the cart? How old is the cart? Is it fairly new, or did you buy it recently? Is it old?
It's fairly new.
Fairly new. Okay, so if you got a new cart, why would it be under risk of breaking if you moved too fast with it? Was there any faults or anything that you neglected to tell my client here?
No, it had a lot of supplies on it.
Supplies. Are you aware that there is a carrying limit, especially when there is a human pulling? Like, just there's only so much a human can pull before he starts taking injuries.
I'm aware.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, Your Honor, if you may, would I be able to call my expert witness to my side?
After you have to wait until the cross-examination is done and the prosecutor.
That's fine. No worries. All right. And then you stated you would pay him 1 lumen. Is this correct?
Yes.
Was this a verbal contract or was it written down?
Verbal.
Verbal contract. And then you increased the payment to 2?
Correct.
Interesting. For what reason did you increase the payment to 2?
Out of generosity.
Out of generosity, no external factors of you maybe, climbing onto the cart or, taking a rest on the cart while my client continued to pull? Or maybe he was taking too long, you wanted to encourage him to go a little faster?
Objection, Your Honor. He's rambling.
The
question's already answered.
Would you repeat that for me?
Yes, so I asked that, is there any reasons that you might have paid him to move forward? Maybe that you got tired and you climbed onto the cart, or maybe you wanted him to move faster, so maybe as like motivation so he'd move faster, or maybe you felt that you were underpaying him.
I got on the cart because he wasn't aware of the route, so I thought maybe I should just lead him, guide him, instead of him getting lost.
So you did say the cart was quite heavy, that it would break if you move fast, and you decided that, all your years of expertise, that adding more weight, because a human does weigh a lot, adding onto that weight would be beneficial? Maybe it would damage the cart?
Correct.
All right. That'll be all, Your Honor.
Very well. would you like to bring up your next witness, prosecutor?
Yes, I would. Thank you for your time, Ms. Kaiju. I would like to call up. I would like to call up Ms. Rico to the stand.
Very well.
Thank you, Ms. Rico.
All right. Hold on.
Definitely.
All right.
Hello.
Okay, most definitely.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Type shit. All right, so, Miss Rico, what
Yes, sir.
happened whenever you made it to the scene?
Well, I was on my way to go out onto the field, where the crops are, and I noticed that. What's the guy's name who hired Jeff? Who hired Jeff? What?
Mr. Kaiju was the name.
Mr. Kaiju? Yeah. So I noticed during the I was walking out that is his name Jeff, right? His name's Jeff, right?
Correct.
Well, Jeff, it looks like he was struggling with the cart whenever I came by. So, as he looked like he was swaying left and right. That's all I saw from my point of view. Now, fast forwarding, when we were outside, I saw that the cart was broken apart. And to me, it just... I can't do this. Okay, my bad. What was your question again?
What happened whenever you made it to the scene, I guess, outside of the gate?
When I'm outside of the gate, so like when I just came to the gate, is what you're asking?
Most definitely, yeah.
So I noticed that a crowd of people were there. And I noticed Chef and Mr. Kaiju were arguing.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to object really quickly. So, I know you're a child. Maybe your memory is a little foggy. You were a little scared of the incident. So, first you stated that you came out and you saw him wobbling with the cart. And then after that, you stated that you came out and you saw the cart was already broken and argument was going on. Could you reiterate which one you saw?
If you listen to what I said fast forward. That meaning ahead of time.
Once again, counsel.
Yeah.
This is a cross-examination question, not an objectable.
But I'll go ahead and answer it because obviously he's not listening. What I said is when I first arrived at the scene, which was in the city, I saw he was wobbling with the cart. Then I said fast forward, meaning ahead of time. When I was outside, I saw the cart was broken. So if that answered your question, there you go.
Your Honor,
Anyways, before I was...
that's the defendant second time. Make sure you call him out next time. Thank you. Continue, miss.
Question again, sorry if I was rudely interrupted. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, question. Whenever you made whenever you got there, what was going on, once the crowd was there, once the car was broken down, how was Mr. Kaiju reacting, during all that?
Well, Mr. Kaiju was really angry at him. I'd be the same too. Being crowded by foreigners, being harassed and all that.
Especially after that was 10 Yome.
I believe he said it was worth 10 lumen.
Correct.
I remember.
Correct.
So, anyway, so as I was offered to help. I came over there to help. That's when I believe when I remember is Jeff left the scene. After I was helping him, we were getting harassed by a group of foreigners.
Most definitely. And Jeff.
And then.
Oh, continue. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. And then I'll tell the ending. So after I helped him, I went back in the city. Then I noticed Mr. Jeff over here, who matched the descriptions of him going inside the city wearing a cloak, changing his identity, maybe to hide from something. I'm not entirely sure what that was about, but that's all I can remember.
Correct. And it is very suspicious for someone to try to put a cloak on, once being involved in that type of, incident. But I will continue though. My last question for you is, what was Jeff Yome saying whenever he was trying to quote unquote help?
I don't remember because there was a group of foreigners talking over each other, saying, "Oh, what happened? What happened? Oh, do you need any help?" All I remember is that he left the scene, and as soon as I came back in the city, I saw the man who matched the description of Jeff Yome wearing a cloak, as I reported it to the guards.
Most definitely.
As when the guards oh my bad.
No,
When the
continue.
guards intercepted him, he did in fact change back into his normal civilian clothes, wearing the same red and whatever color his pants are.
Definitely. So was Jeff Yome trying to help at all?
I think he was for the most part, but then Kaiju then told him to screw off.
Most definitely. Cool. Well, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Of course. Are good to go back sit down?
Oh yeah, you should be. I believe so.
No, come back to the stance. You are to be questioned by.
Oh yeah, sir.
Counsel, you may now begin your cross-examination of the witness.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll apologize for my outburst once again. Sorry, just the nerves of a foreigner's case. Gets me a little excited. All right.
Yeah, very well. You may continue.
Okay. So why don't we look at this? Please refrain from making statements like that in front of the court of law. Okay, so can you begin with what you? Okay, start with give me your eyewitness account. Like, give me refresh my memory here, please.
Oh, you want to hear?
Just talk normally.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna try. Anyways, can you repeat what you said?
Yeah. Can you give me a recount of your what you saw just to refresh my memory?
So, as I was getting asked questions by the foreigners around my stands.
Let's start with what you saw when you first came out.
When I first so I was leaving to out of the city to go to the fields. I noticed that Jeff over here and Mr. Kaiju was on top of the cart, but Jeff seemed like he was struggling, barely swaying left and right, not even going forwards, barely, if anything.
Sorry, your voice was a little too low. Could you repeat that? Your mic cut out.
Okay, so as I was leaving
Mhm.
the fields, the crops, I did see Jeff pull the cart. It looked like he was struggling, swaying left and right, barely even managing to pull it forward. And I didn't see Kaiju stand on the top. I believe I heard Kaiju saying, "Keep it up, I will still pay you the 2 lemons," something like that, but I don't exactly remember. Fast forwarding it, when I was outside, I noticed a crowd of people were surrounding Jeff and Mr. Kaiju, and I noticed a broken cart.
I see. Did you see? Okay, so you didn't see the cart break. Did you disappear in the time frame? What happened?
I went back to the stables because I forgot to get some, and as soon as I went back outside, that's when I saw it all happen. The cart broke, a crowd of people, Jeff and Kaiju arguing, and then that's when Mr. Kaiju asked if I could help him clean, which I did in fact do, and then that's when
Interesting.
Jeff wandered off.
Okay. What business did you have in the fields? You said you were coming from the city. Do you work in the fields? Something like
I
that?
do. I own stables, which I sell produce,
Okay. Okay.
vegetables, all sorts.
All right. That's fine. Very nice. So you saw him struggling with the cart. Did you think maybe that was very difficult labor? Do you think like maybe even if he was really strong, he could be able to manage something like that?
Not really. I think I could do it. Maybe he's just weak. I don't know.
Mm.
If anything, it was only like 2 barrels from what I saw. Maybe like a crate or 2.
Well,
If he was struggling... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What's on it's not too important. It's just a matter of it breaking. So you went back, and then did you hear it break? Was it loud enough? Maybe.
No. I just... Only thing loud was the crowd of people arguing with over each other, trying to help, and the conversations. That's it.
Okay. And then, could you describe how the cart broke? Did it maybe collapse in on itself, or did it break from the sides? Could you
I
describe
don't
the
know.
damage?
I told you.
What you saw the damage? You were there to clean it, right?
It was just all scattered apart. Like
it was all scattered apart.
it looked like it looks like it exploded. But
looks like it
not really.
exploded. Interesting. Okay.
It was just all apart.
All right. And then you saw them. Did Mr. Jeff make any statements stating he would help to assist with the issue?
exactly remember their conversation. All I just remember is that he wandered off, and then whenever I went back,
Any details they were arguing about? Anything? Anything you heard him argue about specifically? Anything, maybe even a word or two you heard?
no, I just probably they were. I obviously would be understanding that Mr. Kaiju was upset,
Okay.
but I just to assume maybe Jeff did. But what was suspicious is that when I went back in the city after helping, he was wearing a cloak, leaving the scene. So,
All right. Okay, that'd be it from you. Thank you.
of course.
Very well. Do you have any more witnesses you would like to call up, prosecutor?
Not at the moment, but can I please call a brief 4-minute recess?
Very well. We
Thank you.
will re-adjourn in 4 minutes.
Everyone out.
Okay, handsome.
Shut up.
Please, sir, please leave. Sir Mist Hoshigaki, please, can you please escort out of the premises?
Hey, cutie, come on out, cutie. Let's go.
Shut up, 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 shut up. No,
What's wrong, Judge?
Well, you
You're
don't even need
cute,
to get out, get out. Goodness, I can't do it anymore.
Anyways, please leave the premises. We're under recess. Sir Q Yome, you were not told. Now you're under arrest. Please stand still. You will be given. You will be given jail time until the trial is done with. Rules are meant to be followed, not broken. You will see him after his sentencing. Please be quiet. Whoa, 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 Seiyuki!
What's happening?
I will give you a warning. Do not cast jutsu near my premises.
Near your premises. What?
Q Yome went inside against the rules. He's now under arrest.
Uh-oh. Another trial incoming.
Nah, I gave him the until the trial is done with. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. I appreciate the honesty. Honorable Samurai, please lock down the premises. Citizen, please step back from this premises. Damn right I am. Alright, Q. Since this jail sucks, I'm not gonna lie, just wiggle yourself in. Not like this, like this. And stay there. If you leave, you get wiped and lore. Type shit. Iris, please, look over this hoodlum. He broke the rules. The rules were clearly stated at the beginning of the trial. Another trespasser? Incredible. The shinobi. Shinobi do not follow rules.
Alright, bro, you don't gotta say all that. We'll now be resuming. All right, prosecutor, you may now call up your next witness.
Yes, I would like to call Mr. Kaiju back up to the stand.
Proceed with your examination.
Most definitely. So, thank you for your time again, Mr. Kaiju. Now, Mr. Kaiju, I don't want you to feel like you can't share your feelings or emotions with the courtroom. And emotions, especially when losing something as valuable as your cart, is reasonable, right? But can you please explain the conversation had between you and Jeffrey Yome after the cart was broken?
All right. So basically, as you all can understand, I was pretty upset that my cart was broken. So I told Jeff Yome to go away not like intentionally, but it was just a spur of a moment thing. So I told him, "Shut up, you're an idiot," things like that.
Most definitely, which is understandable, right? We all have our moments, but once you did tell Jeff Yome to leave you alone, he continued to stay there and he continued to harass you while helping, right?
Yeah, me and Rico, we were cleaning up, and Jeff Yome was crouching down, continuing to plead, say sorry. When I already told him I don't want to hear it, just get on my way.
Right, and even when you already had help, he continued to ask you to help out, even though you told him to leave you alone, right?
Correct.
Oh, that's so nice. But no one asked him to do that though. And you told him again, just so we all know and hear what's being said, especially to the one across the damn courtroom right now. You told him to leave you alone while cleaning, correct?
Correct.
But did you ever tell Jeff Yome to leave the scene?
I did not tell him to leave the scene.
Right. And it would be morally the right thing to stay there after y'all finish cleaning so y'all can figure out what to do from there, right?
Correct.
So he left the scene. Not even leave the scene. He fled the scene and proceeded to go inside the village with a cloak on, hood covering his face and all, identity hidden.
Correct.
It's not making sense to me, and it shouldn't make sense to the courtroom either. Because if he was there, if he was actually being sincere, if he wanted to help out someone who was willing to pay him good money, if he was willing to help that person out, he would have stayed there and he would have just let you clean it up, and then y'all could have had figured out from there. But no, Jeff Yome decided to go back inside the village and cover himself up, and then try to come back, I guess, as what maybe an excuse to say that he came back. But all of that doesn't mean anything, because at the end of the day, Jeff Yome broke your cart. Jeff Yome harassed you, and Jeff Yome fled the scene. And you know why? Because Jeff Yome is a desperate worker. He's not meant to be working, especially not for someone as great as Mr. Kaiju is. But I have no further questions. So thank you, Mr. Kaiju.
Thank you.
You may begin your cross-examination, counsel.
All right, Mr. Kaiju. So let's go over. Can you mind facing me while we're speaking? Thank you. All right. First of all, I would like to let the court know that he did mention the name Jeffrey. That is not associated with this case at all. It's Jeff, nothing else, not Jeffrey. Just wanted to clear up the air. And then, so Mr. Kaiju, could you explain exactly what happened as the cart broke? You were on it, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, start explaining to me. You were you were sitting on the cart, right? Explain, how did it break?
It shattered into pieces. Every part of the cart was dismantled.
Shattered into pieces. Interesting. And you're an expert, right? You said it was a new cart. Not trying to lead on a question, but you've had a cart before this, probably maybe 2 or 3. Irrelevant how many, but you've had carts before this.
Correct.
You would say improper driving would maybe lead to a wheel falling off, not the whole cart shattering.
I do not know the answer to that question, as I hire other people to drive my carts.
But you don't accompany them on these travels?
I do.
So you've never seen an accident, never seen a wheel fall off, a car get damaged?
Nope.
Never. In all your years of working, you've never seen a wheel or a cart get damaged?
Objection, Your Honor. He already answered the question.
What do you have to say against that, counsel?
You can sustain it, I suppose. It was a double question.
Sustain then.
Okay. Moving forward,
Also, future reference prosecutor, that's known as battering.
Definitely.
Moving forward, so you are aware, do you know anything about the lands these people hail from?
I have few like it's pretty vague the information I have. I know they are shinobi, and they utilize chakra in a certain
You know what a
way.
shinobi is? Or they're like warriors, right?
Yep, from what I've been told.
All right. And I understand your cart was broken. It's reasonable to be upset, but you, I ask you from this, not from a business owner standpoint, but from a human standpoint. Jeff Yoma, he's a warrior. He's been through some stuff. He has trauma. He has traumatic experiences from fighting in loud noises. So when the car broke, he started yelling at him, getting all in his face. That triggered his past uncomfortable experiences, and he put on his coat, which is him covering up. It's like a coping mechanism. So he fled. He was in a panic. In my opinion, that's the best course of action. He's a warrior. Maybe thankfully he didn't lash out. He just backed away from the situation, and then he did come back afterwards. Is this correct?
Correct.
So he did come back, and he was apprehended at the scene.
Yes.
Okay. And then he didn't flee. Technically, you would say he didn't flee. He just went to the side, maybe cool off, because he didn't go too far.
No,
and
he definitely did flee.
But he did come back, so that wouldn't really count as fleeing. Maybe it's him going to cool off. Maybe just so he doesn't lash back at you, because he's an honorable man. He respected your employment, and he came back to face the
Put
consequences
on
of
a cloak
action.
and hide in a corner of the city to cool off.
Well, it's a coping mechanism. I told you, he has trauma from his previous experiences.
Very well.
All right, and then when you fell off the cart, were you injured at all?
Nope.
No, interesting. And then would you say the road, what type of road were you guys traveling on?
Like a normal road.
Explain normal road to me, please.
The road made out of stone.
Stones? Interesting. And so he was walking on stones, carrying a heavy cart, shaking back and forth. It's bumpy, pebbly, it's stones. Stones aren't really uniform. So
I didn't say it was stone. I said it was made out of stone. It was a smooth path.
Interesting. But as I recall earlier, this was in the near some fields. So would there be a stone path near some fields? I don't think I know of any in this area.
I can show you it.
I feel that's irrelevant. And besides, you were on a country road path. You were on the cart with him, and then you started yelling and berating him. You were I would say, almost threatening him. That triggered something in him. He went away. He did the best course of action, in my opinion. Cooled off, and then came back. He was apprehended at the scene, and he even attempted to assist you, but I feel your emotions got in the way, so you weren't able to think clearly at the time. You weren't able to accept his help. Maybe it clouded your judgment.
If you say so.
All right, no further questions.
Very well. Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses you would like to call up?
No, sir, I do not.
Very well. Counsel, you may now call up any witnesses you have.
All right. First and foremost, let me make sure I read this name correctly. I don't want to mispronounce any names. I'd like to call Midas Senju up front.
Very well.
Hello, Mr. Midas. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, your counsel.
All right. Very nice. Why don't so explain to me what you saw that during this event.
Okay, your counsel. So, hello. First of all, I say hello, Your Honor. I'm Mighty Senju. I'm a shinobi from Iwagakure. So, I was strolling through the city, right? I was on my way to find some work, because, Lumen, it isn't easy to earn around here.
Question here?
Yeah, I asked him what he was doing on the day. He's just introducing himself, formalities.
So, I was walking along, right, on my way to work, and I see Jeff Yome. I've met him before. We actually fought against each other in a war at one point, and I recognized him. So I was walking, right, and I see Jeff. He's carrying this cart, and this cart, it doesn't look in the best condition, if I say so honestly, Your Honor. I'm part of the Senju clan. I'm a researcher in Iwagakure. I've dealt with many contraptions like this in my time as a researcher. I could easily tell that that wood was of cheap quality. It was flimsy. There was no way it was surviving more than like an hour at most. An hour at most.
I do have a question, Mr. Midas. The Senju clan, what are you guys experts in?
Oh, yeah, my bad. I forgot to mention it. The Senju clan, we're experts in wood. We deal with all types of wood. We can create wood ourselves. And on top of that, I'm a researcher. So I've studied various materials, organic, inorganic, any kind. And oh, I also like to add, the wheels on that cart were not spinning. And as a researcher, I find it very odd that you can call something a wheel, but not have it spin. That's the main purpose. Why were the wheels on a cart that couldn't spin?
All right, thank you, Mr. Midas. All right, that'd be it, Your Honor.
Very well. You may start your cross-examination, prosecutor.
Most definitely. Cool. So, Midas, you said you could quote unquote tell the wood didn't look good, but did you ever go up to it in person or physically touch it?
Yes, I went near the wood, but I did not touch it.
Okay, but you said that you could tell, but you didn't even. You say you do research, so you should know, what to do as far as it goes for actually checking it physically, because that's what you should have had done if you wanted to actually help. But did you though?
Like I said, okay, well,
But you said
I was on my way to work. I couldn't go close, but I've dealt with lots of wood in my time. I can create wood. I'm pretty sure I would be able to tell that if a wood is of good material or not.
So most definitely. So did you ever go to the scene at all?
Yes, I was near the scene.
Okay, and how long was you there?
I was there for a minute at most.
A minute at most, but you were barely there though.
I feel like a minute is close enough time.
No, it's not. So I'm trying to figure out why you're here right now if you weren't even there
Your
that long
Honor,
enough.
that objection, that seems like a very charged question, not relevant to the case.
Yeah, sustained. Continue.
No, prosecutor, I actually think that the time that he spent there is relevant to the case, so sustained. I mean, overruled.
Most definitely. Cool. Now, might I send you? What rank are you for your village exactly?
I'm a tuning 6 for my village, and I'm acting assistant of Iwagakure.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, congratulations on that. But I will say that Mr. Kaiju's cart was created, by wood, exactly. But as far as it goes for Senju's KK Genkai is much different than just regular wood, as wood is yielded from basic trees. And you said that you create wood, that you know wood, but the difference is that the wood used for the cart is different compared to the wood that you create, because the wood that you create is chakra supported, right? That's part of the KK Genkai.
Mr. Prosecutor, I'd like to add something. I said not only was I a Senju, but also a researcher. I mean, I would have researched various materials such as wood, stone, anything you can think of.
Okay, cool.
And as a Senju, I can sense all type of wood. It doesn't matter.
Really? Cool. So, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you again. You said that you couldn't tell. You could tell, you said that you could tell that the wood looked good or didn't look good. But
yes,
did you ever actually check the wood? Did you ever touch it or anything like that?
On top of that, I'm sure there's pieces lying around. If someone could bring me one right now, I will tell you.
You're giving me information that I didn't ask. I asked you a question.
No, I said no. I already told you that
before. So if it wasn't looking good, why did you do it? Why didn't you do anything?
Because I told you, as I said, I was on my way to work. I said that when I first got on the stand.
Right. But see, it's just not making sense to me. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Very well. Do you have any witnesses you would like to bring up, counsel?
You were referring to me, Your Honor, correct?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I would like to call forth, just one moment so I can read his name correctly. I would like to call Inuchinoike.
Very well.
All right. So I will say, the issue in Ichinoke is he does have a issue with speaking. He. So if you don't mind, could I translate for him?
Very well.
All right. So I do apologize for any inconvenience. And then,
I think that may cause some conflict of interest. Commander Reinhardt, would you mind translating for the witness?
But of course.
all right. Please speak with Mr. Reinhardt over here. Please do show him your utmost respect.
He says, Your Honor. Yeah, just give it to me. His name
Just
is
DM.
Inui Chinoiki. I was speaking to one of the civilians until I couldn't help but notice Jeff struggling to carry a really heavy cart. As a medical professional, I saw that it was taking a heavy toll on his body and working conditions. The working conditions weren't safe at all, despite that his employer was shouting at him and urging him to go on. I have special eyes that are different from others. That's why I can tell how hard he was struggling with his body strained and the sweat all over his body. The wheels of the cart weren't even spinning properly, squeaking and whining. I saw it all by my own eyes.
So I take it you're standing here as an expert witness.
In his own field,
He says, yes, Your Honor.
So you're calling him an expert witness. Very well. You may continue, counsel.
Mr. Noy, are you all right? I do believe that's all they have to say.
Very well. You may now begin your cross-examination, prosecutor.
Most definitely. So,
Why don't you go up to him so he can hear you speak? Or Mr. Reinhardt, why don't you accompany him if you don't mind me asking?
most definitely.
Please
follow
come over
Mr.
here,
Reinhardt.
Inui Chinoiki.
Around, go
Over
around,
here,
please.
go around, go around.
Okay, so if you can repeat for me, just so I can make sure that we're clear. What were you seeing from Jeff Yome whenever he was carrying the cart?
I was seeing Jeff struggling while carrying the cart on his back. Sweat was coming off of his body.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
His body was strained.
okay, and how do you exactly know that his body was strained, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I'm a medical shinobi who is experienced.
So okay, so my follow-up question with that is, did you ever go up to the scene after the car was broken? Did you check on Jeff Yome's health, anything like that? His condition?
He says, no, I had business with a certain person.
Right. But again, and I'm emphasizes, you visually seen Jeff Yome struggling, and you visually seen him struggling, but that was all.
He says, I did. I did see him struggle.
Right. So you seen him struggle. Never went to the scene, but all you was doing was
He was grunting and making noises.
right as anybody else would while carrying a cart. Heavy breathing, yeah, which is normal. Okay, I have no further questions.
And the man, he also
Very
says,
well.
and the man was being very rude to him as his last statement.
Okay, like I said, I have no further questions.
All right. Do you have any more witnesses, counsel?
Please return back to the seat.
Yes, I have one final witness. Let me read this name correctly. It is Sin Uchiha.
Very well.
Hello.
Hello. You
Greetings,
may
Your
now
Honor.
begin your examination.
All right, Mr. Sin. I will.
Greetings,
Okay.
Your Honor.
No, Mr.
I'm
Sin,
Sin.
Mr. Sin, Mr. Sin. I will be asking you questions. You will be answering them for me. All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So first of all, what were you accompanying Jeff Yome to this to the when you were heading towards the you were with him at the cart, right? You were following him on the cart or no?
No. I was on my way back to the city. I
Interesting.
stumbled across.
Go ahead.
I just stumbled across him while I was getting back from the city.
And okay, and you stuck around?
Yeah, then I was there the whole time.
Okay, could you explain to me what you saw there with the detail as much as you can?
While I was on the way back to the city, I stumbled across Jeff Yome, the merchant, and the car which was broken. The merchant was screaming at Jeff, calling him words like an imbecile, stupid, dumb, and etc. And finally told him to leave, and the people who were present was Ford Uchiha, Wesley Uchiha, myself, Shin Uchiha, the merchant, and the lady with the red dress. More people were on and about passing by, but we stayed there the whole time.
Okay, question. So when you saw Mr. Mr. Jeff Yome, did you see him run off or no? Or I'm sorry, did you see him leave to cool down?
He didn't leave. He was told to leave, like he didn't flee.
Could you tell me what he said? What the Mr. Kaiju said, to the best of your knowledge?
Can you say that again, please?
Yes. Could you state what as a second party witness, what you saw as what you heard Mr. Kaiju say?
So, also the lady with the red dress, she was there when Jeff was specifically told to leave.
No, that's not. No, Mr. Sin. What did Mr. Kaiju say? Did he?
He was calling him stupid, dumb, and an imbecile.
All right, and then you said he told him to run off or leave. He told him to leave.
Yeah, he told him to leave.
Interesting.
So that's what he did.
And did you notice anything about Mr. Jeff? Anything? Maybe he was panicked.
Yeah,
Looked
he
a little
was panicked.
scared.
As I witnessed, he was a bit scary. I recognized by his facial expressions, and he was sweating a bit and confused as well, scared and
All right.
everything.
Good to know. All right. And then, excuse me. And then, were you there at the time of the arrest?
Oh yeah, I was.
Could you explain what happened during the arrest, if you don't mind?
Jeff didn't resist at all. He went in with a peaceful manner, complying with the military, and not causing a scene.
All right, that'd be all. Thank you so much, Mr. Sin. All right, that'd be it, Your Honor.
Would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Uh,
Prosecutor?
sounds like he just repeated everything that was said earlier in the court, so I have no questions for him.
Very well. You may go sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Sin.
Prosecutor,
No problem.
and now make your closing statements.
Well, definitely. I would dust the jacket off like a real nigga. All right. I remain with the ruling that Jeff Yome is guilty on both counts of destruction of property and construction of justice. Now, while the witnesses that were brought here by the defendant gave us their perspective as they should have, and it was very compelling, it doesn't change the fact of anything that was said here earlier today, because everything was just visually analyzed, right? Kaiju is a young man from the slumps who sat there, and he understands the work that Jeff Yome was putting in, but not just that, but he put himself in those shoes because he knew that he could handle it. Meanwhile, Jeff Yome put himself in those shoes knowing that he couldn't do it, right? Now, again, every witness that was brought here by the defendant visually analyzed everything. No one ever sat there to go help. No one sat there to help Mr. Kaiju, right? Everyone was staring, just watching. Everything was seen, but nothing was ever acted on. And that's the issue. And that is the exact reason why I stand on what I said before. Jeff Yome is guilty. I have nothing else to say. Thank you.
Very well. You may now begin your closing statements, counsel.
Right, to the people of the public, visitors, Your Honor, Mr. Grant Reinhardt, and our foreigners, I'd like to say that Mr. Jeff Yome here, he's an innocent, he's a hardworking man. You know, you go to do a service, you go to do work, you go to, you work hard every day just to, make a living for yourself. And I understand that, while a cart was broken, that, some factors are outside of your control sometimes. And, not everything is negligent. You can't attribute to malice what you could attribute to happening to natural causes. I would like to say that, while pulling a heavy cart might not be easy, pulling a heavy cart with someone sitting on top of it is even harder. I'd like to also add that he, while people did try to help, everyone, we're not, you guys don't look like people who just stand around and just watch. You look like people who get action, who are people who commit action. So, maybe from what I was told, that Mr. Kaiju was offered help, but he refused in his anger and his clouded judgment. And while I understand that his business was interrupted, it's not, there's only so much a traumatized veteran can do. Thank you.
Well, I've heard arguments from both sides, and I've heard testimony from witnesses who were there and expert witnesses who have come to talk about this. Now, we have foreigners here, and this is a very special situation because mostly we trade with foreigners who are not shinobi or they don't do much fighting. So I think it is very important for us to set a precedent here because we don't want issues like this in the future. But we also have to keep in mind we don't want our citizens having a stigma against foreigners. So I believe it's best to treat Mr. Yome in the most fair way possible with this judgment. But with all that being said, I have come to a verdict. On the count of destruction of property, the Avalonian courts find Jeff Yome innocent. He cannot be, I do not believe that Mr. Yome can be held at fault when he was not given the proper information on how to handle that cart and the issues with it. I believe too much changed while he was holding it, and while he was driving it, and I do not think he can reasonably be held at fault for this. However, for the second charge of obstruction of justice, the Avalonian courts find Mr. Yome guilty. Mr. Yome, I have to say, while I can understand you are a shinobi, there is absolutely no excuse from running from our justice system. We simply cannot allow this under any circumstance. All people must come to justice. I am sympathetic towards your
W's in the
plight,
chat. W's in the
but
chat.
that
W
is not
triple jump.
excuse
W
it.
triple jump. Yo,
Therefore,
you know what's crazy?
I will be sentencing
Backlund hasn't
you
rolled
to
triple jump
a
and he has
month
100 rolls.
in prison.
Fuck Backlund.
That's a week out of 4, by the way.
Is there any bail, Your Honor?
No, there's no bail after you've been convicted. He will be going to jail Commander Reinhardt, please take the witness away.
Yes,
Please take
Your Honor.
Mr. Yome away. To the witnesses who've come here, I thank you for your dedication to justice. This was
Yes.
a tough case, but I'm glad it's over. I believe justice has truly been served today.
Yes, you may fetch a bald shinobi. He is released.
Have a good day.
So how much am I getting paid for this?
Let's go. Probably like 10 Lumen. Well, I mean, you have a salary, so what?
Nigga.
Like, well, how good you do in a case doesn't affect it.
Okay.
Mr. Kaiju, please step back from the premises. All right, you know the deal, Jeff. Walk in.
Your Honor, I'd add just one question. Do the witnesses get paid,
No. What?
even for the public defender?
Out now.
You're not a witness.
No, them.
Them? No. No witnesses get paid. They're required to come here by law.
Exit the premises at once. Wrong way.
This is in the capital city. This is just a little town in Avalon. I'm not gonna go around showing the town because I don't know if they want that leaked. But I just wanted to film the court case.
Thank you, Honorable Samurai. For your troubles, Honorable Samurai.
Very well.